Hello and welcome to another episode of Hooks, Knits, and Dice. I'm Layla Croca. My hands are doing worse and worse each day, so I'm going to take a break from crocheting and knitting for at least a day. I'm going to force myself. Idle hands are the devil's tools, as they say, but these are, they are not idle, and that's part of the problem. The doctor thinks I have osteoarthritis in my hands and that I have some nerve damage or possibly carpal tunnels in my arms, wrists, whatever, where they are. But it hurts from fingertip to the top of my shoulders. I can't lift things that are very much heavier than my phone. Sometimes I can't even lift my phone. And I can't reach above my head or behind my back without turning with it. You know, if I reach, I can't reach very far without it hurting. So I don't know what's wrong. I'm really aggravated because I use my hands a lot, and especially trying to get ready for this Christmas bazaar. And Tommy's mom can do the knitting part, but she doesn't do much of the crocheting, which means we won't be able to get as many of the baby hats done as I wanted to. I possibly can continue to sew clothing for the teddy bears. I can reach with this hand. Thank goodness they're light. So I can sew clothing because while I was in Texas, I bought Tommy's mom a boatload of fat quarters in lots of colors. So I can make the clothes for the teddy bears, but I was also going to crochet very large cupcakes that you could put the teddy bears and some furniture and some clothing into. And I don't believe I'll be able to complete that project by the end of this month. But I have been able to crank out these little cupcake hats for babies. This one is citrus fruit. It's a lemon cupcake. You know, it's kind of cute. And then I have a raspberry one with fuchsia and a strawberry rose on top. And then Tommy's mom is working on the cupcake paper for blueberry hat. And I've got the hook still in this. Let me try to get it out. Here we go. So this is a blueberry cupcake with icing around the top, and there'll be ruffles here to make the swirly icing there, and blueberries in the center of the hat with variegated blue and white yarn that I picked up at Spar Shop. They weren't on sale this time. I could have waited, but I just took money from the sale of the duck that had the drawstring music box and put it directly back into yarn. So I got this gorgeous pinky purple white variegated yarn and a blue and white similar style. And then I got this fun tutti frutti kind of yarn that I'm going to use to make a banana split hat. That'll be fun. These yarns aren't as soft, so they can't be used for the babies, but they can be used for the toddlers. I can talk, I swear. So we're making the bigger hats that'll fit toddler to slightly older child. And then I have this finished panabon, which is let's turn it this way, a headband. You can see it's nice and stretchy, so it could even fit a woman. It basically fits from a small child to a woman. And the decoration has, let me bring this closer, see if it'll focus. Maybe. Yeah, it doesn't want to focus, it wants to focus on me. Oh, there we go. See it a little bit. So that's crin, which is basically crinoline in a tube with some glitter. Not glitter, but kind of that holographic looking plastic. And then I set a crocheted banana in the center of it. And I can't take it apart for you right now, but the whole decoration detaches. It's a snap button. And, or maybe I can, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I managed. So you can see it's not very distracting or you could even have it inside out. But the purpose of making it detachable is for washing, so that when you want to put it in the washer, you won't lose the decoration. That was Tommy's mom's idea. Quite ingenious. And then I got this at Spar Shop as well. It's a gorgeous shade of purple that isn't, it looks darker blue on camera than it is. It's got more red in it than it looks like it has. And I picked up this at Husfliden, and this is a little more difficult to show. It's a very soft gray yarn. It's alpaca. It's metallic. It's 58% baby alpaca, 20% extra fine merino, 13% polyamide, and 13% polyester. And it's got a really, there you can see some of the shimmery metallic in it. And it's super soft, and I'm going to use that to make women's panabon. And I've got some buttons here. Let's see if I can pick them up. Ow, sorry. So this one's the fanciest button. Let's see if I can, yeah. No, it doesn't want to focus. There, you can see it now and then. So it's got all those fancy little gems on it. Ow. And then, ow. These are hard to hold, so. This one's got a little pearl in the center with gems all around it. And this one has a bigger pearl and smaller gems. So I'll be using one each for the, I'm hoping to get 3 panabon from one skein. She said 2 to 3, she being the lady that sold it to me. I asked her before I bought it. It's got, what does it say? I don't remember where it says it. Where does it say? Oh yes. It looks like it has about 18 meters, is it? No, excuse me, 110 meters of yarn in this one skein. So it says 50 grams, which, to compare, this is 50 grams as well. So you can kind of see this is a heavier yarn, so it's going to be less yarn than this. And the lady said she had used Rama yarn, it's a brand, and she had gotten 2 out of them, and there's 10 meters more in this particular kind from that brand than the one she used. So hopefully I'll be able to get 3 out. If not, 2 is fine. I'll use the 3rd button for something else. Tommy's mom is knitting a panabon in kind of ocean colors, you know, turquoises, blues, greens, and it's I don't know what the particular stitch is called, but it makes me think of peacock feathers. So if I end up not using the 3rd button, I'll offer it to her to put on that one, and that'll look, oh, it's so pretty. Ow, that hurts. I should quit gesturing. I can't help it. I keep trying to do the things that I do every day, and I've been waking up in so much pain. I couldn't pick up the box of pills to take a pain med this morning. I had to have Tommy help me. So they took x-rays of my hands, and hopefully they'll be able to tell my doctor something. I go to my doctor next week, so hopefully he'll have some news to at least tell me what it is. If it's the osteoarthritis, there's not much that can be done about it. I'm really hoping it's something that's treatable. You know, I don't want to take, I hate taking pills. I don't like taking medicine. I end up having to take a lot of it just because of the various ailments that I have, but so yeah, I just I'm hoping for the best. And they did say that if I have carpal tunnels, it's something that can be corrected with surgery. I don't like surgery. I'm really afraid of it, actually. I don't know why. I'm just terribly afraid of being operated on. And, but, you know, if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. I have to have use of my arms and hands again. I have to be able to pick things up and carry them and reach behind myself for things or above myself, because I am short. So I have to be able to reach things above my head. And, of course, I want to be able to get back to work on my handicrafts. I don't even think I can paint right now. I can't hold a brush. This morning I couldn't use my right hand at all. I was quite scared. I couldn't close it any further than this. You know, it hurt. Now I can bring it, you can see here, I can bring it that much. So it's improved since this morning, but it's pretty bad. It hurts a lot. Let's see. D&D has been a lot of fun. I'm trying to keep the game straight. I've been having some trouble again. My mom suggested I take a screen for narcolepsy. Back between 2005 and 2013, I was falling asleep throughout the day without being able to, you know, say, oh gosh, I'm tired. I would wake up. I would be, for instance, speaking with my department head, and the next thing I'd know, I'd be waking up and she'd be looking at me intently. And I didn't understand that, because she would just stop talking and wait for me to wake back up, and then she would continue as if nothing had happened. And, but the worst of it was when I would wake up driving. We would be coming home from church, we'd be on the road, and all of a sudden I'd wake up. Yeah, and my daughter was in the Jeep, so I stopped driving for about 6 months. And I feel it happening again. You know, I'm sitting here crocheting, watching Star Trek Next Generation, and I wake up with a hook in my hand. I'm like, gee, I must have been crocheting, you know? And I don't like that everything seems to be falling apart at once. I get that I'm almost 43, and so systems are going to begin to fail, but I really don't feel that old. I don't feel like I'm old enough for all this stuff to be happening. It might be a state of mind thing. I mean, I don't know what's supposed to happen when, you know? But I am concerned about, you know, just waking up. You know, talking to people, and all of a sudden I'm waking up and I'm like, crap, I was talking to somebody. So I'm hoping it doesn't get as bad as it did in the early 2000s to mid 2000s. So like I said, the D&D, we're having a lot of fun. We have Kevin, Stan, and Matthias and myself. And we hunted a family of owl bears. 3 of them, 2 parents and a baby bear. Haha. And my character is a Triton, which is basically merfolk. So of course she'd never seen an owl bear or heard of it. They compared it to hunting a killer whale, and she's like, oh, okay, so I get, you know, basically how difficult that's going to be. And then she concluded at the end of the hunt, no, owl bears are worse. You know, the whales only have the teeth they can hit you with, where the owl bears can claw at you, and, you know. But Pathfinder was a lot of fun. Last week, I had been given Spider Climb by, I think he's a sorcerer in our group. He may be a wizard, I'm not sure. But, so I used it to climb into a dark hole where we had seen tracks leading. Something had taken part of Elysiac Compass. It's basically a compass that can point towards, I want to say, the undead, so that we can destroy them. But someone had taken the focal point, which was a piece of quartz wrapped with copper. So we went into the hole. I went in with I think she's an oracle? I don't remember what she is, actually, but she's a kitsune. And she was on my back, and we got down there, and then a voice booms out, "How dare you sully my," I don't remember, den, I guess is what she said. It turned out to be a crystal dragon. And I gave a fine speech saying, "We have not come to sully, but to worship you." And everyone was like, "Oh, that was great," So he's like, roll for persuasion, I think it was, or some skill along that. Diplomacy, actually, I think it was. I rolled a 2. 2 is not good. You want 20, or, upwards of 20. But my DM, my husband, said that I had made such a fine speech I could roll again. I rolled another 2. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be beating myself up for games to come on that one. I had rolled 2 20s in a row for saving throws earlier that night. So I guess, balance of the dice. You roll 2 20s, you're going to get 2 2s. So then, the person playing the Kitsune wasn't able to make it last night because we play on Thursdays, and so he gave us an NPC, a non-player character, to accompany me in the hole so that I wasn't fighting the dragon by myself. And the others ended up climbing down and getting in there, or actually it wasn't an NPC in the hole with me. He let me have one of our other players who was an earth, I don't think he's an elemental. He might be, but at any rate, he's like an earthbender from Avatar. And we managed to fight and kill the dragon. It was a medium-sized dragon, so it was younger. And I kept succeeding in my will saves, and she would call me a cheater. She didn't like that I wasn't susceptible to her spells, but I was susceptible to her breath. She had a sonic breathing spell that was brutal, and if I didn't have Hero's Defiance, my character probably would have died. But, yeah, so we've been having a lot of fun, and one of our players' birthdays is on Monday, and we have the game with him on Monday, so I'm gonna, if my hands will cooperate, I'll bake something nice for the boys on Monday's game, so there's that to look forward to. But, and I can always get Tommy's help, because he loves to help me bake and cook and that sort of thing. Speaking of that, last night I baked some dinner rolls, and then split them in half, and filled them with Norwegian cheese and meatballs with marinara sauce, and topped them with the roll tops. Brushed those with garlic butter, stuck them in the oven, and we had meatball sliders, and they are so good. But I baked them in a glass dish, which is smaller than the casserole dishes I use in the US. So the rolls were a little doughy, and then when you put the marinara sauce, of course, they get a lot doughy. So even though I baked them to the full recommended time, the bottoms were still a little doughy. Ugh. But, Tommy and his mom seemed to enjoy them. Excuse me. And I, of course, enjoyed them, so. Let's see. What else is there? Oh, I guess I didn't mention that Tommy's grandma had purchased the duck that I made. The duck with the music box in its tummy. Tommy was showing her all of the goodies that I've been making for the Christmas market, and she's like, "Oh, I'll buy that." She has a new great-grandchild, I believe. It's either grandchild or great-grandchild. And she purchased the ducky for them, so that was sweet. And like I said, I put that money right back into more yarn for more projects, so that was fun. I really, really like the colors on this game. The camera and the lights don't do it justice. It's really very pretty. I love the colors together, and the Tutti Frutti is fun. The blue is super pretty. When she knits, she being Tommy's mom, she knits the cupcake papers with it's almost a stockinette stitch, which is knit 1, purl 1, except it's knit 2, purl 2. So I'm not sure the name of that stitch. I'm not familiar with knitting the way I am with crochet, but that's what it is. The pattern is knit 2, purl 2, and she works it in the round rather than in back and forth. So the yarn, the way the variegation falls, is that the colors come up diagonally across the paper, which is really pretty. So I'm excited to see that attached to the blueberry cupcake part of the hat that I'm making. And these hats, they work up pretty quick. She's able to get them knitted, the paper part, in a day, 2 days max. It depends on how busy she is. And same with me with the crocheting part of the hat, because I've already got the fruit and toppings made. So I'm just crocheting the cupcake and then whatever frosting or icing that I'm putting on them. I made this one in one piece because I thought it would be a little too warm to have the icing layer on top of a full blue layer. So I just started with the icing and then finished with the blueberry cupcake part. But let's see, what else? So I have a bunch of appointments next week. Dental, doctor, psych. Oh yes, and I believe that's not next week, that's the week after. Yeah, the week after I have an appointment with NAV, which is Norway's, it helps you get into the workforce, I believe. I'm not 100% sure if that's all they do with NAV, but that's the purpose that I'm applying it to. So I'm going to try and either get work, temporary work with a yarn house or design firm or something, because I still have all of that animation schooling under my belt. Or, just something simple that I can start out with so I can start earning some money. And then if I can't do that, my goal is to start my own business, to have a place where I can sell my handwork, but then also to teach. So I can teach children, I can teach teenagers, I can teach adults, and I can teach both knitting, crocheting, but also the embroidery and other, skills that involve handwork, leather tooling, jewelry making. I know a lot of mediums, so there's a lot I can teach. And so I would like to take business classes on how to run my own business, and eventually I would like to go into business with my husband Tommy, where he could help me run the financial end of it, and then of course I would be a teacher and teach other employees that I would hire if the business continues, so that I could have more than one teacher teaching throughout the week. And then he could hold either Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or Magic games on the weekends when the yarn shop is closed, so to speak, the yarn portion of the shop, or the teaching portion. That way we can share the space and there can be a multitude of interests going on there, so that hopefully business will be sustainable. And then he can, we can work together. He enjoys working at the daycare center, of course. Ow, sorry. But it'd be nice for us to be able to work together, and then be able to support ourselves that way. So I'd cross my fingers, but I can't. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's my 5-year plan, though. I'm not, anticipating being able to do that this year or even the next. It's a 5-year goal. So that's what I have so far. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.